Hi everyone, welcome from Law with Dunk, the Law Guy, and today is the long overdue part B of day 51 of the Case a Day series journey, covering cases across criminal law, tort law, contract law and the English legal system. Apologies for the delay when I haven't been having a break. I've been working on research, understanding new recording software and launching the same case series on Spotify, which you're welcome to check out. I've done 3 recordings so far on Spotify, and after much constructive feedback, I've managed to have it so the Law Guy logo isn't back to front anymore, which is brilliant. Now, as the Part A recording for Day 51 was produced a while back, we can get underway with Part B and ask, what is an assault and why was there an assault present in RV Constanza 1997? An assault is defined as an act, requirement 1 of the actus reus, that causes the victim to apprehend, requirement 2, immediate, requirement 3, unlawful, requirement 4, violence, which is only the actus reus here. And the mens rea is either intention, I always stress direct intent, or recklessness, i.e. subjective recklessness, to cause the victim to apprehend immediate unlawful violence. Be aware, for the mens rea here, some textbooks state the mens rea for assault is either intention or recklessness to cause the victim to fear immediate unlawful violence, but I hate the word fear, and you should use the word apprehend or expect instead for both the actus reus and mens rea. I say this as if it was required for the victim to fear violence, well, that's not going to happen if I assault Mike Tyson, even if I'm dressed in this costume. But I and Mike might still expect violence from me, which is much wider and a proper assessment of an assault situation. Now, why was there an assault present in RV Constanza 1997? In this case, the defendant hated his ex-work colleague, and so he embarked on a campaign of harassment and hate against her for over a year and a half. In this time, he sent her over 800 letters, 812 in total. The defendant had also made a number of unwanted phone calls and had followed her home from work, drove past her house, stole things from her washing line, and had written offensive things on her house door 3 times too. After all that, she went on to receive 2 additional letters which were deemed to be assaults, as they were clearly threatening. This case helped develop when the actus reus of an assault could occur, as the act for the purposes of an assault here didn't need to be a physical gesture such as the shaking of a fist or the waving of a knife, as the act could be written words contained within a letter or series of letters sent to the victim. The defendant doesn't even need to be in the room for the assault to occur, i.e. there does not need to be a reinforcing physical gesture to accompany the words written to the victim, like there would be where, say, I shouted something nasty at a person and then went on to prepare for a fight by raising my fists. So here, the words on the paper alone were enough for there to be an act for the purposes of an assault. And this part is key. Applying this case decision today would lead to threatening emails and texts being allowed to amount to an act for an assault. Also be aware the act for an assault must be by way of a positive voluntary act and can't be committed via an omission, which is a failure to act. And it's important to note that the defendant could have been based anywhere in the world, and the victim here would still be able to apprehend, i.e. expect, immediate, i.e. in the near future, unlawful, i.e. non-consensual violence. But as the defendant lived very close to the victim's house, not that I think this matters, this made it easier to prove that it was reasonable for the victim to expect something violent could happen at any time. Just as an extension to all of the above, the victim in this case went on to become diagnosed by a doctor as suffering from anxiety and clinical depression due to expecting violence in the near future that she hadn't consented to from the defendant's actions and letters. This therefore meant that the defendant's assault upon the victim occasioned, i.e. caused, the victim's actual bodily harm, leading to the defendant being convicted at trial, which was upheld on appeal, of the more severe offence of ABH, i.e. actual bodily harm, under Section 47 of the Offences Against the Person Act 1861, due to the psychological ABH, i.e. depression, suffered by the victim. I regularly stress this to my students, which is, where an assault causes ABH, it's no longer an assault, as it's been upgraded to a Section 47 offence instead, which carries a higher level of sentencing, a max of 5 years imprisonment. That said, you still need the actus reus and mens rea of an assault as ingredients for a Section 47 offence in this situation, hence why Constanza is still very important for the crime of assault when stating what an act can be for an assault. And that's it for today. Thank you from Law with Dunk, the Law Guy, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow.